Ladies and gentlemen, if I told you that just 3 days could change the way you see yourself, the way you walk, and the way the world reacts to you, would you believe it? In only 3 days, not 3 years, not even 3 months, you have the ability to reset your mind, rewrite your story, and rediscover your confidence. Because the truth is, powerful voice in your life isn't from the outside world. It's the one that speaks inside your own head. And if you dare to talk to yourself differently for just 3 days, you might not even recognize the person you become. Try speaking to yourself like this for 3 days. 3 days may not seem like much, but within that short time, you can spark a chain reaction that shifts the entire direction of your life. The way you talk to yourself forms the foundation for everything else. It shapes how you carry yourself, the energy you bring into a room, the choices you make, and even the dreams you allow yourself to believe in. Most of us have been trained to doubt ourselves. We shrink when we should rise tall. We apologize for wanting more. Second, guess our brilliance before it even has the chance to shine. But what if, just for 3 days, you stopped doing that? Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, and instead of saying, "I'm so tired," or "I look awful," or I don't think I can handle this," you said, "I am strong, I am worthy, I am ready." At first, words might feel uncomfortable because your inner critic has been speaking louder than your confidence for so long. But if you push through that discomfort and say them anyway, something powerful begins to happen. The words you say to yourself aren't just noise. They're instructions, they're blueprints, they're seeds. When you say, "can't," your body listens. When you say, "I'm not enough," your spirit begins to bend under that weight. But when you say, "I can," when you say, "I am enough," when you say, "I will," the universe inside you rises up to meet those words. You become lighter, stronger, and bolder. And this isn't just wishful thinking. It's backed by science, psychology, and truth. For 3 days, you to replace every self-doubting thought with a declaration of strength. If you catch yourself thinking, "I don't think I can do this," immediately correct it. "Of course I can. I was made for this." If you hear yourself say, "I don't look good," replace it with, "I am unique. I am radiant. My presence." When fear whispers, "What if I fail?" answer back with, "What if I fly?" That is the kind of conversation you must have with yourself, not once or twice, but again and again until it feels natural. You may wonder, can 3 days really make that much difference? The answer is yes, because in 3 days you can begin to retrain your brain. You can start proving to yourself that you are not helpless, that you are not ruled by your doubts. Start realizing that you hold the pen, that you are the writer of your own story. And once you taste that power, you'll never want to go back to living the old way. Think about how you talk to someone you love. When they're hurting, you don't tell them, "You're weak. You're worthless. You'll never make it." No, you hold them close. You remind them of their strength. You tell them they are capable of getting through anything. So why don't you talk to yourself that way? Why not become your own supporter, your own motivator, your own best friend? The truth is, the most important conversation you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. The outside world will always be noisy. People will criticize, circumstances will test you, and life will challenge you in ways you never imagined. You can't control any of that. You can control the voice inside your head. And if that inner voice is strong, kind, and unstoppable, then no amount of outside noise can overpower it. For 3 days, train that voice. Teach it to love you, to lift you, to believe in you. Watch how quickly your confidence begins to rise. Every time you look in the mirror, look with judgment, look with pride. Remind yourself that this person in the reflection has survived everything life has thrown at them. They are still standing, still breathing, still fighting. That's not a small thing. That's incredible. That deserves respect. So give yourself that respect. Challenges show up, and they will. Don't let fear be your first response. Let courage take the lead. Tell yourself, this is hard, but I'm tougher. This is big, I'm bigger. Say it even when you don't fully believe it, because belief grows through repetition. The more you affirm your strength, the deeper it roots in your soul. You claim your worth, the more you carry yourself like someone who refuses to settle for less than they deserve. And when opportunities appear, talk yourself out of them. Don't let that little voice whisper, I'm not ready, I'm not good enough. Stop it right there and replace it with, I am ready. I am capable. I deserve every good thing coming my way. Because the truth is, opportunities don't wait for people who feel perfectly prepared. They show up for the ones brave enough to take the leap even while their knees are shaking. If you can talk to yourself like that for 3 days, just watch opportunities pass by. You'll step into them boldly. And here's the beautiful part. Once you start speaking to yourself with strength, the world starts reflecting that strength back to you. People treat you differently because they sense how you treat yourself. Doors begin to open because you approach them with confidence. Life starts shifting because you dared to shift your inner dialogue. It doesn't take years or decades. It takes 3 days to begin, 3 days to choose new words, 3 days to stop being your own worst critic and become your biggest supporter. And when you do, you'll never want to go back. The reason most people never reach their full potential isn't because they lack talent, resources, or opportunity. Because they've spent years tearing themselves down in their own minds. They've rehearsed failure so often that when real challenges come, their mind automatically gives up. What if you reversed that pattern? What if, instead of predicting failure, you started predicting victory? What if instead of saying, I'll probably mess up, you said, I'm going to crush this? That single shift changes everything. The truth is, life isn't waiting for you to be perfect. Life is waiting for you to be brave. And bravery starts with the words you tell yourself when no one else is around. It starts with whether you say, I don't think I can do this, or whether you look in the mirror, stand tall, and say, yes, I can, and yes, I will. For 3 days, I want you to treat every thought like a seed. Ask yourself, if this thought grows, what kind of life will it create? Will it grow into confidence, courage, and strength? Or will it grow into fear, hesitation, and regret? Because you can't plant weeds and expect roses to bloom. You can't feed your mind with self-doubt and expect a life filled with confidence. For 3 days, be intentional. Plant only thoughts that build you up. Speak only words that fuel you. Use only affirmations that remind you who you are and what you can do. When you wake up in the morning, rush straight into your day. Pause for a moment. Place your hand on your heart and speak life into yourself. Tell yourself, today I choose to rise. Today I choose to shine. Today I choose to own my story. Those words may sound simple, but they hold power. They remind your spirit that you are not powerless. They remind your heart that you are still the writer of your own journey. Throughout the day, when something challenges your patience, or when things don't go your way, resist the old habit of saying, why does this always happen to me? Instead, say, this is my chance to grow stronger. This is my opportunity to prove that I can handle more than I thought. That small shift in words separates those who crumble from those who rise. And I promise you, if you keep choosing those words for 3 days, you'll start to feel a fire inside you that maybe you forgot was there. In your conversations with others, how often you put yourself down without even realizing it? How often do you say, I'm so stupid, or I never get anything right? Those may sound harmless. They are programming your mind to believe that smallness is your reality. Stop apologizing for existing. Stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. For 3 days, place those self-sabotaging phrases with self-respecting ones. When you make a mistake, don't say, I'm so stupid. Say, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm improving. When you feel nervous, don't say, I can't do this. Say, I may be nervous, I'm still capable. That's how you train your mind to believe in you again. Now let's talk about comparison. One of the most harmful ways we speak to ourselves. Compare our behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. You scroll through social media, you see someone succeeding, and immediately you say, I'm behind, never reach that level, I'm not good enough. But for 3 days, I want you to break that habit. When you see someone else winning, use their success to tear yourself down. Use it as proof that success is possible. If they can do it, so can you. Instead of saying, I'll never be like them, say, walking my own path, and my time is coming. Do you feel the difference? One mindset keeps you stuck, the other pushes you forward. The way you speak to yourself in private affects how you show up in public. If you constantly tell yourself, I'm shy, I'm not confident, I can't do this, then when opportunity knocks, you'll hide. But if you spend 3 days telling yourself, I am confident, I am magnetic, ready for any room I enter, then when opportunity arrives, you'll rise to meet it. You'll step forward because you've been practicing courage long before the moment came. 3 days are enough to begin seeing cracks in the walls of self-doubt. 3 days are enough to loosen the grip of those limiting beliefs that have trapped you for years. And when those cracks appear, light starts to come through. Possibility starts to reveal itself. You begin to see that you were never powerless. You just believed a voice that wasn't telling you the truth. Be honest. You've already tried the other way. You've spent months, maybe years, speaking down to yourself. Did it make you stronger? Did it make you more confident? Did it make life better? No, it only made you second guess every move. So why not try something new? Spend 3 days speaking to yourself like the person you're meant to become. You owe it to yourself to hear your own voice cheering for you. You owe it to yourself to experience what it's like to wake up without being at war with your own mind. You owe it to yourself to know what it feels like to walk into a room knowing you've already claimed your worth. And it doesn't take years of therapy or decades of searching. It takes 3 days of dedication to how you talk to yourself. Every achievement starts with a belief. Every breakthrough begins with a voice that whispers, I can. And that voice doesn't come from your parents, your friends, or the world. It comes from within you. For too long, you've let that voice be a critic. For the next 3 days, let it become your coach, your champion, your spark that refuses to go out. When you catch yourself hesitating, tell yourself, I am brave. When you feel unworthy, say, I am enough. When you doubt the future, remind yourself, my story is still being written, and I am the author. Keep saying these truths until your doubts no longer have the power to silence them. Repeat them until they sink so deep that they become second nature. Just think these words. Say them out loud. Let your own ears hear them. Let your body feel the vibration of your strength. There's something powerful about hearing your own voice declare your greatness. It changes your energy. It raises your frequency. It aligns you with the life you're meant to live. For 3 days, choose to speak only what lifts you higher. Silence the critic and turn up the coach. Place, I can't, with, I will. Replace, I'm not enough, with, I already have everything I need. After 3 days of this practice, notice a change, not just in how you feel, but in how the world responds to you. Confidence is magnetic. Strength is contagious. When you believe in yourself, others start believing in you too. So start today. Start right now. Catch every word you speak to yourself and ask, does this build me or break me? For 3 days, refuse to tear yourself down. Refuse to make yourself small. Refuse to let doubt be the loudest voice in the room. Instead, become your own revolution. Be your own reminder. Or on light. Remember, the way you speak to yourself is a choice, and choices become habits. Habits shape destiny. Too many of us have lived as prisoners of our own negative self-talk, repeating destructive phrases until they became the soundtrack of our lives. If you can interrupt that pattern for 3 days, if you can consciously rewrite it, you'll begin to create a rhythm that matches the life you want to live. Think about all the moments you stood at the edge of an opportunity and let your inner critic stop you. Maybe it was a chance to speak up, to start something you dreamed of, to step into a relationship that could change your life. Instead of saying, "I can rise to this," you whispered, "What if I fail? What if I'm not enough?" If they laugh, and you walked away shrinking from a moment that could have lifted you. But what if, for 3 days, you decided your first response to any opportunity would always be, "Yes, I can. Yes, I deserve this. Yes, I'm ready"? Do you realize how many doors you'd walk through? It's not about faking confidence. It's about practicing belief until it feels natural. The same way muscles grow when you train them, your mind grows when you feed it strength. At first, it might feel strange to say things like, "I'm unstoppable, I'm worthy of greatness." But like exercise, repetition builds power. After 3 days of consistent training, you'll start to feel a shift. After 3 weeks, it becomes routine. And after 3 months, it becomes who you are. For 3 days, you to be intentional about catching every self-sabotaging thought. Don't let it slide. Confront it, replace it, rewire it. If your mind says, "Never make it," respond with, "I'm already succeeding because I refuse to quit." If the thought says, "You're not as good as them," answer with, "I'm incomparable. I'm my own standard." If it whispers, "You're not ready," say, "I was born ready for my destiny." Keep doing this, and soon your mind will stop questioning your worth and start reinforcing it. Here's the truth. The world doesn't reward hesitation. The world rewards belief. Every person you look up to, every story of success you've ever heard, started with someone who chose to believe in themselves before anyone else did. They didn't wait for approval. They didn't wait for someone to tell them, "You can do it." They told themselves, "I will do it." That belief carried them through rejection, through failure, through storms until the world had no choice but to recognize them. You don't need anyone else to validate you. You don't need a title, a stage, applause to confirm your greatness. All you need is 3 days of speaking to yourself as though you already are the person you dream of becoming. Because here's the secret. The more you affirm it, the more you live it. And the more you live it, the more the world reflects it back to you. Let's talk about energy. When you speak life into yourself, everything changes. You walk differently. You breathe differently. You enter rooms with a confidence that can't be ignored. People might not know exactly why, but they'll feel it. They'll sense that certainty radiating from you, that quiet strength that says, "Yes, I belong here." That energy doesn't come from luck or from being chosen. It comes from training your inner voice to be your ally, not your enemy. For 3 days, treat yourself like your best friend. Think about it. If your best friend came to you saying, "I don't think I can do this," would you reply, "You're right, you're not good enough"? Of course not. You'd lift them up. You'd remind them of everything they've overcome. You'd tell them they're stronger than they think. Now, ask yourself, why don't you do that for you? If you can lift others, you can lift yourself. When you become your own supporter, you stop needing constant approval from others. You become self-sustaining. Even in moments of pain, practice matters most. Maybe you've been through heartbreak. Maybe life has knocked you down. The temptation in those moments is to speak defeat over yourself. To say, "I'll never recover. I'll never love again. I'll never rise." But those words deepen the wound. What if for 3 days you chose different ones? What if you said, "Pain will not define me. This heartbreak will not destroy me. I'm healing, I'm growing. I'm coming back stronger than ever." Do you see how much power that gives you in your hardest seasons? That's how you shift from victim to victor. Every time you talk to yourself, you're either building walls that trap you or stairs that lift you higher. The choice is yours. For 3 days, build stairs. Refuse to lay another brick in the prison of doubt. Refuse to be your own obstacle. Already has enough challenges. Don't add your own voice to the list of things holding you back. Let your voice be the one thing that always fights for you when no one else does. And remember, greatness doesn't happen in giant leaps. It grows through small, consistent steps. 3 days of empowering self-talk may seem small. It's the spark that can ignite a wildfire. You won't just feel different, you'll act different. You'll move toward your goals with new courage. Take risks you once avoided. You'll carry yourself with confidence that commands respect. And when people ask what changed, you'll know it wasn't the world. It was you. As you live like this, something powerful happens. You begin to trust yourself again. Think about it. How many times have you broken promises to yourself? You said you'd try, but you gave up too soon. You said you'd show up, but fear held you back. You said you'd believe in yourself. You silenced that belief before it had the chance to grow. Every broken promise chips away at your confidence. But when you start speaking life into yourself, for 3 days, you rebuild that trust. Each positive word becomes a promise kept. Each declaration of strength becomes proof that you are dependable. That trust becomes the foundation of your confidence. For 3 days, don't let doubt write your story. Let your words remind you of your resilience. Tell yourself, I'm someone who follows through. I'm someone who shows up for myself. I'm someone who keeps going even when it's hard. These aren't empty phrases. They're anchors. They keep you steady when life shakes you. They push you forward when the past tries to pull you back. And here's the best part. Once you start talking to yourself with respect, you naturally begin to expect it from others. You stop tolerating people who belittle you because you've stopped belittling yourself. You no longer accept less than you deserve because your words remind you that you are worthy of more. For 3 days, let your self-talk raise your standards. Let it remind you that you are not here to play small. You are here to live boldly, fully, and without apology. Every time you face a challenge, instead of asking, why me? Ask, why not me? Why shouldn't you be the one who rises? Why shouldn't you be the one who breaks through? Why shouldn't you be the one who changes everything? 3 words, why not me, have changed countless lives. They remind you that greatness isn't reserved for a lucky few, open to anyone who dares to believe they deserve it. And that belief begins with the words you speak to yourself. For 3 days, practice catching your reflection and speaking with purpose. Don't just glance in the mirror. Pause and look into your own eyes. Say out loud, I'm proud of you. I believe in you. I love you. It may feel strange at first, especially if you spent years criticizing yourself. But healing starts with discomfort, starts with awkwardness. Transformation starts with small, courageous acts like this. When your mind tries to drag you back into old habits of doubt, remember, you are in control. You decide whether to listen to those thoughts or replace them. You decide whether to replay the same story or write a new one. And if you commit to rewriting it for 3 days, you'll prove to yourself that change is possible. If 3 days can create momentum, imagine what 3 weeks can do. Imagine what 3 months or even 3 years could do. But it starts small. It starts now. Every person who's ever done something extraordinary began with one choice: the decision to believe. And belief isn't always easy. It doesn't always feel natural. But someday, you'll look back and realize that those first 3 days changed everything.